problem is that patients are living with wounds for longer than they need to be. They cost billions to the NHS and they have a massive impact on people who have the wound. A lot of them, if we compress early or we manage well, they don't have as much of an impact. So the sooner we treat them, the better.
On a busy day in May, a group of patients was seen by a combined wound and lymphedema therapist team in an innovative new clinic in South Wales.
That's good, isn't it?
Still moaning, it?
Anne's shin used to look like this.
It was like raw beef, weeping all the time. It was gungy, it was awful.
Her shin has healed, and now all eyes are on the quality of her skin.
Another cream.
I know. But it does soften all that hardness there.
Okay.
And her sleep.
Ideally, we tell everyone to stay in bed for about at least 6 hours overnight.
I can't I don't know what it is. I can't do it.
We want this lymph fluid to drain into lymph nodes that are in your groin, okay? If you can lay a little bit flatter or lay back a little bit, it'll just open up that natural lymph drainage for your lymph nodes in your groin, okay?
Okay.
Unlike Anne, June loves her bed.
So you tend to stay in bed for at least 6 to 8 hours, Jean, do you?
Oh yeah.
Good, that's good.
She's losing sleep about something else.
I said to the granddaughter in the car, I said, I'm sure, she said, I can smell it, Nana.
Anne's had problems for 4 years. For Grace, it's 90. Dealing with the legacy of a recent fall and malnutrition in childhood.
Well, I was born in 1931. I was one of 8 children, and my parents weren't working. So we went without food more often than we had it. But then when I was evacuated in 39, I went to the Rhondda Valley.
From where?
From Kent.
From Kent.
And it was the best thing ever happened.
She's been coming to the community wound clinic for about 2 years. We found it quite difficult to get in suitable hosiery for the shape of her limb.
Last but not least is Pam, who injured herself 2 years ago and really needs the combined talents of the team.
I've been waiting for hip replacement now for about 4 years. Any broken areas, you can't have any hip or knee operations, they won't do it. So that's holding me back.
That swelling, that fluid that's coming down the leg, that's going to take the least path of resistance. So if there is a wound there, it's going to continue to come out through that wound. And then that's not allowing that wound bed to heal either, is it? So
The evidence out there now tells us to compress wounds early. If you don't manage the chronic edema that's sometimes associated with a wound, the wound will never heal.
A wound that doesn't heal can be devastating for a person, both physically and emotionally.
Maybe we need to put a little bit of extra compression on this now, because the tissue type and the size have remained stagnant over the last 3 visits.
Yeah.
The actual wound bed is looking healthy and that hasn't deteriorated. It's just the leg looks slightly more edematous.
okay, so this is the topical silver dressing that we're applying now. And then the pads.
Anne's legs are showing the effects of edema too. As well as slowing healing, it sucks moisture out of your skin.
It's drying the skin out constantly. You get old skin cells, and that can be called hyperkeratosis. You've got to clear them off. They're a medium for infection.
Washing, drying well and reapplying moisturising cream every day is essential to prevent infections such as cellulitis.
So if there's any dry areas there, that's how bacteria can potentially get into those legs. So skincare is really, really important.
Pam's doing a good job with skincare.
Your skin is looking in good condition, actually.
And wears 2 layers of stocking to increase compression.
You've got what we call a class 2 layering of garment system going on at the moment, but a flat knit garment, you might find it feels a little bit more sturdy, it gives you that little bit of extra support. So we'll order you those garments for you to try that, okay?
It's easier to put stockings on in the morning. Wait for any cream to dry first. Meanwhile, June's looking forward to getting out of her bandages.
And you're having your toes out, you
Yes,
said,
please.
okay.
Yes, please.
Though compression must always be part of her life.
And obviously, you know, even when your legs do heal now, you'll still have to wear your stockings every day, okay?
Yeah.
Because obviously your leg is going to be used to having this level of compression on it. So if you leave the stocking off, you'll be at risk of that fluid coming back.
Moving helps to get your lymphatic system moving. And once things are improving, it's important to keep up the good work.
So this was the ulcer that was affecting you the most though, wasn't it, Grace? It's improved massively though, isn't it?
Grace is advised to wear toe caps to ensure that the skin doesn't break down.
They're very fiddly. Yeah, they're awkward to get on. Especially my little toe. It's hidden.
I know, sometimes they don't quite fit. But if you pop a pencil in between your toes, it'll just make sure that it's secure there, that the garment is on properly.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yes,
Does that feel okay?
that's fine.
Lovely. And then we've got the stockings.
Prevention is better than cure. Grace also uses compression on her good leg to keep it that way, with a bit of help from a half pipe.
And that feeds it on nicely then, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So we can readjust it. So it's a risk reduction really with this leg.
One last bit of risk reduction: proper shoes.
My brother-in-law's slippers.
The fear I have about slippers is that if you've leaked into there for a start, so if your wounds were leaking or your legs were leaking, then that's a medium for infection. The other thing as well is that you're high risk of falling and it's not supporting your foot as it should be.
Your lymphedema and wound care therapists have the skills to support you. Your job is to tell us if something changes.
The compression garments are uncomfortable, contact the service. You know, the compression garments are loose, contact the service. My wound is starting to appear, contact the service. That's your responsibility really, to make sure that you stay well and know when to call the service for support.
And don't forget your toolbox of self-management skills.
It's the skincare, the compression, moving your body and eating well and managing your weight. It's the whole package.
Flex your foot back and forth as much as you can and do those little exercises and keep going with the skincare, okay?
Right. Well, thank you.